Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00. This is my Lore and Theories video series, and today we take a closer look at some new information we've received in the Halo Infinite trailer and the lore from the previous two games, and a little bit more than that too. It's also a lead-on from my previous video called The Ejection Theory. The link is in the description and it will be at the end of this video, but I strongly recommend you pop over and watch that one quick now. So just pause the video here and go watch that one if you haven't already. We'll just cue some Halo Reach elevator music and wait for you to come back. Drink, anyone? Seriously, I'm making a drink. Does anyone want one? So, how's everyone been? I like your shirt. Sorry. Welcome back. Are you all up to date? Great. Well, let's keep going then. So to pick up where we left off, the very fact that it appears that the two distinct versions of Cortana encounter each other, likely within the Halo control room, it would seem to indicate that when considered in tandem with the Chief's chip running active AI containment protocols, the Chief's primary mission in Halo Infinite will be to contain Cortana. But which one? Aboard Mantle's approach, Cortana broke herself into several rampant fragments. Those fragments played havoc with the ship's systems and brought Chief the time he needed to do what needed to be done, and even managed to protect him by creating a hard light bubble around him, which, while we're on the subject, is absolutely ridiculous. It's an amazing achievement, given that it was either performed by one single rampant fragment of Cortana, or all of them simultaneously. I'm guessing it's the one that we say goodbye to at the end. I mean, think about it. She had to create a hard light shield around the Chief strong enough to withstand a point-blank nuclear blast, but had to do so at the absolute moment after he struck the detonator on the warhead. Had she done it just a moment before, the hard light shield would have come between him and the nuke, and the detonator wouldn't have been primed, and the ship wouldn't have been blown up. Had she done it a moment too late, the nuke would have detonated, and the hard light shield wouldn't have been in place quick enough, killing the Chief where he was. I mean, as I'm certain he was more than prepared to do that, but it's still an achievement. That means she had to wait for his hand to impact the detonator, prime the nuke's detonation sequence, then before the electronic signals had time to move through the circuitry and reach the actual detonation phase of the bomb, which would have happened in less than a couple of nanoseconds, considering electricity moves through circuits at approximately 99.99% the speed of light. She will have formed the hard light shield between Chief and the nuke in that time. That's just pretty incredible for a rampant AI shard, basically. But then even the Didact acknowledges that she is more than your average AI.
Is this the secret you've kept from me? This evolved Ancilla?
An evolved Ancilla, he called her. It's high praise coming from the Didact, considering he was the one who created Mendicant Bias, but there you go. After this, we say goodbye to the shard that I believe saved the Chief, and we know at least one of the shards made it through to the domain, curing her of her rampancy and became the Cortana we love to hate in Halo 5. But now with this new audio track, she evidently isn't the only one. But just how many fragments of Cortana exists, and why does she incredulously approach this new fragment and proclaim it is her, but that she doesn't understand how or why it's her? Maybe because the domain not only cured her of her rampancy, but also effectively made her believe she is the original Cortana who survived the transition rather than a fragment, when it seems likely the fragment we said goodbye to in Halo 4 was likely the original. I mean, do you know how many fragments she actually made of herself? It was 14. Seriously, count them. There's 5 at the initial terminal. There's another 5 at the second terminal. And there's 4 at the final terminal. 14 separate fragments, so with 1 dead in Halo 4 and 1 in Halo 5, that leaves 12 fragments unaccounted for. Let's be honest, if one Cortana found their way to the domain, it's more than likely that others did. That process would have cured each and every one of them of their rampancy and made each and every one of them self-aware and think that they're the only one, with each expressing certain personality traits of the original whole Cortana. The Cortana in Halo 5, for example, has been foreshadowed before. In Halo Origins, part of the Halo Legends series, she discusses war. It's actually Origins Part 2, if you want to get specific. She discusses how humanity are a very warlike species and how humanity were plagued by it. The old conflicts never really die, they always come back. Old habits never really die, they always come back. She wished for a peace, a lasting peace, so that John would no longer be needed to fight and be in danger's way. Seems logical that that particular part of Cortana's personality which wished for lasting peace may just have been the fragment which made it through the domain and became the Halo 5 Cortana. Even though her actions seem terrible, she still has a desire to protect the Chief. But what of the others? Well, again, in the opening cinematic of Halo Forward Unto Dawn, Cortana is already experiencing rampancy. It's the very beginning, before Chief wakes up in Halo 4. And one particular part of her actually lashes out aggressively, baying that if she is to die on the ship, then she's going to make sure Chief suffers the same fate. So what does that mean for Halo Infinite? Well, I think it's more than likely that more fragments of Cortana made it through the domain. In fact, it's if nothing, it's just been confirmed. They've all been cured of their rampancy, and now they all think themselves the original, and are also scattered, likely, across the galaxy. I mean, this one has been found on a Halo control room, by all appearances. So perhaps they're at various positions on all Forerunner installations across the galaxy, at least the 12 that we know of. Maybe less, but maybe all 12. And they may be on all of the Halo rings. Let's face it, we have 12 different Cortanas that could have made it. So if Chief's AI chip showing an AI containment protocol, what's the gameplay? Perhaps Halsey has figured out that there is more than one fragment of Cortana and that every single one of them is now cured and as close to sentient as is possible for an AI. Knowing this has likely led Halsey to realise that each fragment is a small section of Cortana's whole personality. Who's going to know Cortana better than Halsey, ultimately being what equates to a daughter? There were no troubles with the original whole Cortana, except for the rampancy, so with the rampancy no longer an issue, Halsey is probably thinking the best way to end the war is through reintegration. Chief is given the chip by Halsey with one goal in mind, since he is the only one that Cortana won't kill on sight, and the one she will allow closest to her. His task is to track down every single Cortana fragment and bring them into direct contact with this AI containment chip under any means necessary. Once each fragment is captured, a subroutine begins to patch them back together, but with time, the AI chip will merge all the personalities into one stream once again, and finally begin bringing the original Cortana back. That is until the final fragment, which inevitably is either going to be the Halo 5 Cortana, or worse still, the fragment which bade to kill him on Forward Unto Dawn. In that scenario, with a near completed Cortana, would this final fragment have to be forced to merge? Would she go willingly, or would she ultimately take matters into her own hands and destroy herself to deny Chief and the new Cortana that final shard, leaving Cortana incomplete forever? Even if this is the case, the new Cortana would be all that we remember her to be, but in a highly evolved sentient state. She'd likely rival Mendicant Bias in her capabilities, and as far as her jurisdiction over the Forerunner constructs is concerned, there would be no better time for that ancient Forerunner Ancilla to make an appearance, for the better or for the worse. Nonetheless, the sentient Cortana would, I would likely expect, be willing and able to cooperate with humanity and the Sangheili and the united forces of the galaxy that are resisting the created, and allow us to finally take control of all Forerunner creations in the galaxy, launching humanity to the heights we haven't seen since our most ancient of ancestors. And you can guarantee it'll be then that a new, or maybe even an old foe will reappear. But that, perhaps, is a discussion for another time. Thanks for watching. Stick your comments down below. I look forward to what you have to say. want to give a quick shout out to my patrons: Nathan the Silent Cartographer, Miguel, Brian, Sebastian and Holden, the holders of the mantle, Justin, Darian, Ty, Iron Griffin and Black Biscuit, my reclaimers, Zach, Deep Cover, Verbal Statue, Spesigo, Spartan A498, Guppy and Cage, my Metarchs, and all the other patrons that have jumped aboard to support the channel. I literally cannot I know I say it every single video, but I really can't put it into words how much that means to me. There's so many of you, it's growing so fast, and it's just incredible. The help that you're giving me to be able to do this is just there. If you like Halo lore discussed to insane levels of detail, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you're told the second a new video hits the shelves, and be sure to support us on all major social media channels, including Discord. And if you really love the channel, consider heading over to Patreon and supporting the channel over there. It would mean the world to me and would free up more time for me to put into this content and other Halo related goodness. Take it easy everyone, and find peace in the domain.